Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending our second revision lecture on a Saturday morning. I will continue from where we stop for revision 1. And this is L01. So what I will need you to do is I will need you to continue to look at my annotated slides. We have started on lecture 9 and 10. We have started on lecture 9 and 10 on Tuesday, yeah. So let's take a look. So please make sure you are looking at lecture 9 and 10, annotated slides. Okay, so I will just do a very quick recap and continue from OC and CCC. So from the day that I buy inventory to the day that I sell my inventory, that is known as AAI, which is the average age of inventory. Yeah, so from the day I buy inventory to the day that I sell inventory to my customers, that would be known as AAI. AAI refers to the average age of inventory. From the day that I sell my inventory to the day that my customer pay me, right? And you see the cash moving up, that will be ACP, average collection period. So average age of inventory plus ACP, that will give us the operating cycle. Yeah, average age of inventory plus ACP, that will give us the operating cycle. So from the day that I buy inventory to the day that I pay my suppliers, that will be known as average payment period. So there is this period of time where we have paid our suppliers. Yeah, we have paid our suppliers, but the customer have not paid me yet. The customers have not paid me, right? So there is this period of time that is known as CCC. So CCC refers to cash conversion cycle. Yeah, cash conversion cycle. So it refers to this period of time where you have paid your suppliers, but your customers have not paid you. So I often call this the dry period. Yeah. So what do we mean by dry period? Dry period refers to a period of time where there is no money coming in, or a period of time where there is no money coming in, right? So it is known as the dry period. Now, because there is no money coming in during this period of time, CCC, it has to be the shorter, the better. Yeah, so cash conversion cycle has to be the shorter, the better. Okay, now what happens if your CCC period is too long, right? So what happens if your CCC period is too long? So if your CCC period is too long, then of course you have to source for money. You have to look for money, right? Because CCC period is a period where there is no money coming in. So when your CCC period is too long, you have to source for funding. And one example that you can go to, right, to source for funding, we will need to borrow money from the bank. Yeah, we will need to borrow money from the bank, but this will increase our interest expense. Oh, okay. So the next topic that I'm going to talk about this morning, it will be when we borrow money from the bank, we can borrow using two strategies. Or when we borrow money from the bank, we can borrow using two strategies: conservative approach and aggressive approach. Or you can tell from the name. So the first strategy will be the play safe approach. So how do we play safe? We will borrow the same amount of money every month. And this same amount of money is the maximum. Yeah, so we will borrow the maximum amount every month. Yeah, of course, for 12 months of the year. So we will borrow the maximum throughout the 12 months, right? And we borrow the maximum amount every month. Okay, now, how would your exam question look like? Your exam question will look something like this. So the question will provide you with the list of requirements. Yeah, so how much money do you need every month? How much money do you need every month from January to February? Right, from January to February. How much money do you need every month? Oh, okay, so if we are borrowing the maximum, what we will do is we will borrow the maximum amount every month throughout the year. We will borrow the maximum amount every month throughout the year. So it will be 14 million, and we will borrow 14 million every month. Oh. So how would your exam question look like? Right. So your exam question will look something like this. They will be asking you on your interest expense per month. So the question will be asking you for your interest expense per month, not per year, interest expense per month. So if you are borrowing the maximum every month, you are doing the same thing every month. This is what we call permanent financing. So you're not just borrowing one time. You are borrowing every month, and it is borrowing the maximum amount every time. So it is known as permanent financing. If it is known as permanent financing, we will use the higher interest rate. Or if it is known as permanent financing, we will use the higher interest rate. So 17%. Right. So therefore, the interest expense for conservative, yeah, which is the play safe approach, it will be 2.38 million every month. Yeah, so that would be the interest expense per month. This is per month. Okay, now let's move on to the second approach. Right. The second approach is what we call the aggressive. If it is the aggressive approach, what do we do is we take some risk because we want to reduce the interest expense. Yeah, we want to reduce the interest expense. So in order to reduce the interest expense, we will try to borrow less. So what we will do is we will borrow the minimum every month. Yeah, we will borrow the minimum every month. So when we borrow the minimum every month, this is what we call permanent financing because we are doing it the same every month, right? So we just borrow the minimum every month. But of course, there will be certain months that I need more than the minimum. Yeah, so there will be certain months that I need more than the minimum. So if I need more than the minimum in that particular month, I will borrow extra. So the extra borrowing the extra borrowing will be known as seasonal funding. Yeah, the extra borrowing will be known as seasonal funding. Oh, okay, so how would the question look like? You will be using the same question. Yeah, you will be using the same question. So you will be using the same exam question. So what you need to do is you need to identify what is the minimum. Yeah, what is the minimum amount? So for example, this is the minimum amount, right? 2 million. But you've got to be careful lah. So you check through the figures. So 2 million is the minimum. Okay, you will take note of 2 million. And what you need to do is you need to look across to make sure that it is confirmed the minimum. Okay, now the next step that you need to do is you will need to draw a table. Yeah, I will recommend this approach so that you do not miss out any of the months. So some students, they use their own method, but then when they are calculating the interest expense for aggressive, they miss out certain months. Then the final answer is not correct. So what you need to do is, okay, you help me remember the question. So for example, the question is 2, 2, 2, 4, 6, 9, 12, 14. Right? So 2, 2, 2, 4, 6, 9, 12, 14. So what I will recommend is you will draw a table like this. So this is from the question. Yeah, so 2, 2, 2, 4, 6, 9, 12. This is from the question. But you are borrowing 2 million permanently. Right? You are borrowing 2 million permanently. So therefore, you will have the next column, which is your borrowing every month, which is the minimum amount. Yeah, which is the minimum amount. And the difference between column A and column B is your seasonal requirement. Seasonal funding, or what we call the extra borrowing. Yeah, the extra borrowing per month. So you notice that because in January to March, you also need only 2 million per month. So if you borrow 2 million, then it is enough. Right, then it is enough. Okay, so the next thing you need to do is you will need to add up all your seasonal borrowing. You need to add up all your extra borrowing. Add it up. Add up all your extra borrowing. And then total it up. Total 48 million. You have to divide by 12 months. Or 48 million, you got to divide by 12 months. So it becomes 4 million per month. Yeah, it becomes 4 million per month. Or that will be your average extra borrowing per month. Your average extra borrowing per month is 4 million. And you are borrowing 2 million per month. Every month you are still borrowing the 2 million. But on top of the 2 million, in certain months like April to December, you will have extra borrowings on top of the 2 million. So you total up your extra borrowing and then you divide by 12. That will be your extra borrowing, average extra borrowing per month. Average extra borrowing per month will be 4 million. Now, when you are calculating the interest expense, be very careful. Yeah, because the permanent financing, which is the 2 million that you borrow every month, you use the higher interest rate. The extra borrowing per month, you will use the lower interest rate because the extra borrowing, we are able to borrow at a lower interest rate. So that's the reason why people are willing to take risks. Yeah, that's the reason why people are willing to take risks. Because the extra borrowing, we will apply the lower interest rate. So you add it up, that becomes your so-called interest expense for the conservative approach. Yeah, so that becomes your interest expense for the conservative approach. Okay, you will notice that your interest expense for the, this will be your interest expense for the aggressive. Yeah, This will be your interest expense for the aggressive approach. So you notice that your interest expense for the aggressive approach, it is 1/3. It is much lower than the conservative approach, right? So your interest expense for the aggressive approach, it is much lower than a conservative approach. In fact, only 1/3. Okay, so this is a big question. This is a big question that for sure will be tested in every exam. Oh. And moreover, your exam is from topic 7 to 12, you see. So this is definitely has to be tested. Now, let's take a look at exam 2514. So this is the exam 2514. So you can just look at the question on the screen or you can open the document. Yeah. And this will be a standard question. So every question will have this, every exam will have this question. And you notice what is short term and what is long term, right? What is short term and what is long term? So what I need you to do is you got to follow the what is long term and what is short term. So permanent financing, you see, so if you are borrowing the same amount every month, if you are borrowing the same amount every month, that will be under permanent financing, whether it is maximum, whether it is the minimum requirement. If you are borrowing the same amount every month, that is under permanent financing. So permanent financing, you use the higher interest rate. Yeah, so that is the reason why they give you the short term, long term. So short term is usually the higher interest rate. Then for the extra borrowing, right? For aggressive approach, you will need to borrow extra every month. So the average extra per month, you go for the short-term interest rate. Or you go for the short-term interest rate. So let's have a look at this question. So these are your requirements. And one is the short term, one is the long term. So what I need you to do is I will need you to calculate the cost. Now, the cost here refers to interest expense. The cost here refers to interest expense. Conservative, how much is your interest expense? Aggressive, how much is your interest expense? So I will come in shortly to share the workings and the answer. Yeah. And I also need to tell you what to study for the theory question. So please try these two questions. And for aggressive, please draw the table. How does the table look like? The table looks like this. Yeah, the table looks like this. So draw this table when you are finding the answer. So we are going to look at these two questions. I will come back and share with you what to study for the theory. Yeah, so help me work out what is the conservative approach interest and what is the aggressive approach interest. Okay, I have answers coming in. Um, I do not understand your question. Short term use higher interest. There's no short term or long term. It is conservative or aggressive. Yeah. Can you refer to the PowerPoint slides? Refer to the PowerPoint slides, or you can take a screenshot. Maybe take a photo of this, then you should be able to find the answer. So take a photo of this. Yes, very good. Yeah, Kester, I saw your answer. Good. Um, the group chat is actually enabled. I have enabled the group chat, so you are able to reply to everyone. Yeah. So for classmates who are online, can you also reply to everyone? What is the answer that you get? Okay, any classmate has completed what is the interest expense for conservative and aggressive? Can you please share your answer in the group chat? So for 2514 exam, right, you have to identify the maximum. So if it is conservative, okay, good, yes. If it is conservative, we will be using the maximum. So this is the maximum amount, and this is permanent financing because every month we are borrowing the same amount. So every month we are borrowing the same amount. This is permanent financing, right? So if it is conservative, what we will do is we will take this 9 million, multiply by the higher one. So therefore, your answer, it will be 1.35 million. Oh. Okay, any classmate has answer for the aggressive approach? So if you have found the answer for aggressive approach, can you please reply in the group chat? For aggressive approach, please draw this table in the exam. I think it will improve the accuracy of your answer. If it is aggressive approach, draw the table. I think it will be better. Okay, good, yeah. For aggressive approach, you have to draw a table. So the first thing you need to identify will be the minimum. So which is the minimum? This will be the minimum. Maximum, minimum. You will start with your minimum. Right. With your minimum, you will be able to draw this table. So in an exam, I will need you to draw this table. The table looks like this. So in your table, you will also have the amount that you need every month, right? So how much money do you need every month? Or so say for example, 3, 4, 6, 4.5, right? So you will copy the question and you will put it in this table that looks like this. So 3, 4, 6, 4.5, right? 3, 4, 6, 4.5. Okay, so you will list down from the question. This is from the question. And this will be your permanent borrowing. So you will have column A. This is your column A, and this will be your column B. So seasonal requirement, it will be A minus B. Right, so for example, in let's say we try with 5 million. Right, so in June, I need 5 million, but I borrow 3 million only, you see. So therefore, I will need to borrow extra 2 million. Right, so that's what we mean by extra borrowing. Now, with this extra borrowing, you will need to find the total. So this will be your total extra borrowing. And your total extra borrowing, you will need to divide by 12. Because we are only finding the average. So you need to divide by 12. Now, for the extra borrowing, you will use the lower interest rate. Yeah, so this short term is only for extra borrowing. So this short term is only for extra borrowing. Okay, so what you will do is you actually will total up, right? Okay, you total up your extra borrowing. You total up your extra borrowing and then you divide by 12. So then your answer will be this. So this is the higher interest rate. And then extra borrowing, you will use the lower one. So this will be your answer. In the exam, just give me to 2 decimal place. In the exam, just give me to 2 decimal place. We will practice 2 questions. We will practice 2 questions. So please take note, this will be for 2514. And then we are going to practice 2442. I will show you everything on the screen. Yeah, 2442. So this will be exam 2442. So it tests everything. Yeah, what is the interest expense for aggressive, interest expense for conservative? So usually we will practice 2 questions for every topic. Yeah, usually we will practice 2 questions for every topic. So can I have you to quickly do this question now? Remember to draw a table for aggressive, or remember to draw the table for aggressive. So once you have an answer, just reply me in the chat. Okay, so let me know if you are able to get the same answer. So any classmate get the same answer as me? Okay, good. Kester, I saw your answer. What about the rest of the classmate? Okay, so I will quickly show the workings so that we can move on. For conservative, we will be using the long-term interest rate. So long-term interest rate, it will be the higher one. So this will be the higher interest rate. Now, for aggressive approach, so what we need to do for aggressive approach is we will need to draw this table, right? So in the exam, I will encourage you to draw this table. It will improve the accuracy because if you draw the table, you will not miss out any of the months. What some students did in the exam and in class is they do not draw the table. So they just do their own way, like a one line working. But there is a probability or possibility that you may miss out certain months. If you draw a table, you will not miss out any of the months. So what you need to do is you need to total up your average. So this will be from the question. This will be your minimum amount. So your column A less your column B. That will give you your extra borrowing. or we call it seasonal requirement. So with this total extra borrowing, you will need to divide by 12, yeah? Okay, so what is your answer for conservative and aggressive? These are the workings in case you need it. So both use higher one for the permanent financing. For the extra borrowing, you will use the lower interest rate. Okay, so what I need to tell you now is the theory question. The theory question to study for this topic or for this question. So the theory question that I need you to prepare, it will be this box here. So I need you to study this box here. So we will start with conservative approach. So conservative approach, what is the good point and what is the not so good point, the bad point? Right, we start with conservative and what is the good point? The good point is conservative, it is lower risk. Lower risk because we borrowed all the money, right? We borrowed the maximum. So if we borrow the maximum, it will be lower risk. Now, when we borrow the maximum, our interest expense is much higher. If you look at all your answers across, your interest expense is much higher for conservative. That will reduce your profit. So this is the bad point, yeah, about conservative. On the other hand, the opposite is the good point for aggressive. Because for aggressive, it is lower interest expense, so your profits will be higher, right? So this is the good point. But on the other hand, the bad point about aggressive is it comes with higher risk. And why does it come with higher risk? Because number one, we may have difficulty borrowing extra. Yeah, we may have difficulty borrowing extra because sometimes the bank may not have money to lend us. So we may have difficulty borrowing extra. That's point number one. Point number two is interest rate may also increase for the seasonal borrowing, for the seasonal requirement, for the extra borrowing. The lower interest rate, it may also go up. So another risk is interest rate may also go up. And when interest rate goes up, we will still need to pay higher interest expense. So what I need you to do is I will need you to remember these two boxes, four boxes. So you give me back in the exam the four boxes here, or these four boxes here, you give me back in the exam. So when I say explain, you give me incomplete sentences. Oh. Okay, so I will now move over to the last topic, the final topic in this set of lecture notes. Yeah, the final topic in this set of lecture notes. It's not really the final topic because I still have theory questions to tell you. Hang on. Okay, so let's move on to the same lecture notes. The same set of lecture notes, but we are looking at slide number 31. So what do we mean by cash and marketable securities? So marketable securities refers to liquid investment. Marketable securities refer to liquid investments. Yeah. So these are all under cash and cash equivalent. Yeah. So in accounting, these are known as cash and cash equivalent. So of course, cash refers to our cash on hand. So that is the most liquid, but it comes with very little interest, right? So if you keep too much money in the bank, you do not earn much profit because the bank pays you very little interest. So we call it very low returns or no returns. So if we have extra cash, we may want to invest in very liquid investments. Yeah, so marketable securities refers to liquid investments. What are liquid investments? They are short-term investments. And usually these are shorter than 1 year. Yeah, these are usually shorter than 1 year. So for example, deposits less than 1 year. For example, treasury bills, right? So when you see the word bills, it is shorter than 1 year. So these are investments that are very short term and you can easily sell them and convert to cash when you need the money. But it also comes with low profits. Yeah, the profits are also low, but slightly higher than just keeping the money in the bank. Or slightly higher than just keeping the money in the bank. Okay, so what is the theory question that I need you to prepare? The theory question that I need you to prepare is, what are the 3 reasons for holding on to cash? Yeah, what are the 3 reasons that we need to hold on to cash? So number 1 is transactional motive. Yeah, transactional motive means we need it in the ordinary course of business. Yeah, to pay for our daily transactions. So for example, pay the salaries of workers, pay suppliers. These are transactional motives. The second reason, it will be precautionary in case there is any unexpected needs. Yeah, in case, for example, the machine breakdown, we need to repair the machine. Yeah, or there is a flood, fire, and then we need to, repair the building. So these are unexpected needs. Precautionary motive. And then the next one, it will be speculative. Speculative refers to if there is any good investment opportunity. If there is any good investment opportunity, I have cash. Yeah, I have cash. I have enough cash to make investment. Yeah, to invest in the project or to buy over another company. So these are the 3 reasons. These are the 3 reasons for holding on to cash. Okay, all good. I will continue. Next topic, it is about receivables. So I'm still in the same set of PowerPoint, yeah. So this is a big topic. I'm still in the same set of PowerPoint. Uh, Receivables refers to customers who have not paid. So these are receivables, yeah, customers who have not paid. Now, what happens if you need money urgently? What happens if you need money urgently? So what can you do with your receivables? If you need money urgently, right? What can you do with your receivables? There are two ways to raise funds, yeah, from your receivables. Also, there are two ways to raise funds from your receivables. I will be testing you on factoring. Yeah, I'll be testing you on factoring. What is the difference between pledging and factoring? Pledging is you are using the receivable to exchange for a bank loan. You are using the receivable to exchange for a bank loan. So it is only exchanging for using the receivables to exchange for a loan. So you are not selling away the receivable. Yeah, so when you repay the bank loan, the receivable becomes yours again. Yeah, so you are using your receivable to exchange for a bank loan. But factoring, it is not the same. Factoring is we are selling our receivables at a discount in order to raise some money, in order to get some money back. Right? So how does factoring work? So in every factoring arrangement, there will always be two parties. In every factoring arrangement, there will always be two parties. Number one is the company that needs the money. So the company that needs the money is, for example, company A. Company A needs the money, right? So company A has a receivable that is still not paid. So say, for example, company A has $100 receivable, because the customer has not paid. But company A need money urgently. So what company A may do, because company A need the money urgently, is company A can sell the receivables to a factoring company. Factoring company is a legal company. It is a legal company. So company A will sell, say, the $100 receivable to the factoring company, but usually you have to sell it at a discount. So usually it is about 60 to 70% discount. But in this example, I only give I give a small discount lah. So company A will sell the receivables to a factoring company for a discount. So say, for example, company A will sell the $100 to the factoring company, but at $90. So the factoring company will just pay $90 to company A, right? And the receivables belongs to the factoring company now. The receivables belong to the factoring company now. So this factoring company will still collect the full amount, $100 from the receivable. Also, that's what we mean by factoring. So the company that needs the money will sell the receivables at a discount to the factoring company. And because the receivables has been sold, the receivables now belong to the factoring company. So it is the factoring company that will collect the original amount from the customers. So customers will be notified. Yeah, customers will be notified. Okay, so what do you need to study for factoring? You will need to give me two advantages. Yeah, two advantages of factoring. and of course, two weaknesses of factoring, lah, right? So two advantages of factoring, it is very useful, yeah, in improving the cash flow situation of the company, of the business, especially for businesses that have very high level of receivables. Yeah, especially for businesses that have very high level of receivables. Oh, so factoring becomes very useful to improve the cash flow situation for companies that have a lot of receivables still not paid. It is very useful for companies that are growing very fast and they need more working capital, they need more cash. And usually the factoring company is, I would say, they specialize, you see. They specialize in buying receivables and collecting the receivables back from the customer. So the factoring company may be more efficient in collecting the money back from the customers. Oh, so this you need to give me two advantages. You also need to give me two disadvantages. So you need to give me two disadvantages of factoring. So for factoring, the receivables is sold at the discount. So when the receivables is sold at the discount, then of course I will get less money back, right? So factoring, it is more expensive. The reason is we sell the receivables at a discount. And the factoring company, when they collect the money from the customers, they may be quite pushy. So they may be unfriendly or pushy lah. Yeah, we call it. So they may be aggressive in collecting the money back. So as a result, the company that sold the receivables may lose the customers. Usually factoring has a bad reputation because when we think about factoring or when we hear about factoring, we have the impression that the business has cash flow problems. Sometimes the business just want to expand the company more quickly. Sometimes the business just want to expand more quickly, so they sell their receivables. They may not necessarily have cash flow problem. But when people hear of factoring, they will always associate it with cash flow problem. So factoring has always had a bad reputation, yeah, because people will think that this company who sold the receivables, who used the factoring company, have cash flow problems. Oh. So explain two advantages and two disadvantages. Oh, so explain two advantages and two disadvantages of factoring. Okay, so I will now move on to the final topic in this set of lecture notes. I think we can go for a break first. Yeah, I think we can go for a break first and then we will come back at 10:10. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the second half. So we are still at the same set of PowerPoint, but we are going to look at payables. Okay, so firstly, payables refer to suppliers that I have not paid. So me equals to the business. So suppliers I have not paid, these are my payables. Okay, so usually our suppliers will encourage us to pay earlier. So our suppliers usually hope that we will pay earlier. So what will the supplier do to encourage us as a customer to pay sooner or to pay earlier, right? What the supplier will do is the supplier will offer us cash discount. Yeah. The supplier will offer us cash discount. So this is what we call credit terms, or this is what we mean by credit terms. So the supplier will offer you a credit term. So we need to understand the credit term. Yeah, so how do we understand the credit term, right? So the supplier will say something like, if you are able to pay within the first 10 days, if you are able to pay within the first 10 days, I will give you a 2% discount. So if you are able to pay within the first 10 days, you will get a 2% discount. So you only need to pay 98%. You can say, yes, I want to pay early. I want to pay within the first 10 days to enjoy the 2% discount. You can also say no. Yeah, I do not need the discount. I do not want to pay earlier because I do not have enough money in the bank. So if you do not want to enjoy the discount, if you want to give up on the cash discount, then you will need to pay the full amount. You will need to pay the full amount within 30 days because 30 days is the maximum credit period that we are given to pay. Oh. So how is the exam, I mean, not exam question, but how does the question test you, right? So how does the question look like? So this is a sample question. So you make $100 purchase. Yeah, you make $100 purchase, and the credit term given by the supplier is 2, 10, and 30. So what does 2, 10, and 30 refer to, right? So if you are able to pay within the first 10 days, if you are able to pay within the first 10 days, so from first day to the 10th day, if you are able to pay within the first 10 days, you will get a 2% discount. So please take note, this is the discount. Yeah, so you will get a 2% discount. So therefore, after the 2% discount, you only need to pay $98. Because you pay early ma. But you can also say no. I do not want to pay early because I do not have enough money in the bank. I do not want to pay early. So therefore, you have to pay the full amount on the last day, which is 30 days. Yeah, so you are given a maximum 30 days to pay the full amount. If you pay within the first 10 days, you only pay 98%, right? So therefore, if your purchase is $100, if your purchase is $100 with a 2% discount, this is 2% discount, so you will only need to pay $98, right? So that is if you pay early. Okay, now, if you give up on the discount, you do not want to pay early, right? Okay, fine. If you do not want to pay early, then you can pay on the last day, which is 30 days, but you need to pay the full amount. You need to pay the full amount, which is 100 days. So you compare $100 versus $98. So if you pay early, you pay $98. The supplier collects the money and can use the money. But if you pay on the last day, you got to pay $100, which is $2 more. So this $2 extra that you pay on the last day, it is actually the interest that you are paying to the supplier for waiting an extra 20 days for you. Because the supplier is not going to wait for you for free, right? If you pay on the first 10 days, then they can collect $98 and use the money. So for the supplier to wait an extra 20 days for you to pay up, you have to pay more as well, which is $2. So this $2 is actually the interest that we are paying to the supplier. So therefore, this is what we call interest rate that we pay to the supplier. And in an exam, you will need to find out what is the interest rate that you are paying to the supplier. And we call this the cost. What is the interest rate lah? Yeah, what is the interest rate? Meaning the cost. Yeah, that cost of the discount. But cost of the discount refers to interest rate that you are paying the supplier. So in the exam, they will ask you what is the cost of the discount. Cost of the discount refers to the interest rate that you are paying to the supplier. So what you need to do is you will need to convert this $2 into an interest rate. So you follow the formula here. The formula is given in the exam. So you just press your calculator. So you just follow the formula, remove the percentage, and do not convert it into decimal. So if it is a 2% discount, means you just keep it as 2. 2 over 100 minus 2, multiply by 365 over, credit period is 30 days, discount period is 10 days, so 30 minus 10. Now, how do you understand your answer, right? Because this is the interest rate that you are paying your supplier. We call it cost of the discount, but it is not the discount that the supplier is giving you. The discount that the supplier is giving you is still 2%. The supplier is still giving you 2% discount. It doesn't change. So when we say cost of the discount, it is actually what we mean by the interest rate that you are paying the supplier. So say your interest rate that you are paying the supplier is 37%, which is very high. You will compare it with the bank loan interest rate. So the question will give you what is the bank loan interest rate. So if the interest rate that you are paying the supplier is more than the bank loan interest rate or higher than the bank loan interest rate, then of course it is better to borrow from the bank and pay early. So we say you will accept the discount, right? So if your supplier interest rate, if the interest rate that you are paying your supplier is more than the bank loan interest rate, of course you will take up the discount and you pay early. So you just need to tell me this in the exam, and of course I will ask you how much you pay. You pay less. Yeah, so you will pay 98%. Yeah, because you will pay at a discounted price. So you will enjoy the discount. You can also say no, right? When your supplier interest rate is less than the bank interest rate. Supplier interest rate is lower than the bank interest rate, then it is better to borrow from the supplier. So therefore, you will borrow from the supplier, not the bank. Therefore, you will pay on the last day. Yeah, so when you give up the discount, you will pay on the last day of the credit period. So you will pay the full amount. Okay, so let's take a look at exam question. Okay, so this is the question, right? So what is the cost of discount is the interest rate that you are paying the supplier. So this will always be the discount. Okay, so I would like you to try this question. The marks is also quite high. Yeah, usually it is about 6 to 7 marks. So once you're done, you just reply me your answer for part 1 and part 2. So whether you want to take up or give up the discount. Whether you take up or give up the discount, when are you going to pay the supplier and how much are you going to pay the supplier for? Okay, so take note it is 3/20 net 60, right? So you are given a maximum period of 60 days to pay up. So 60 minus 20. And then the discount is 3%, put it at the top, divided by 100 minus 3. So this is what we call the cost of giving up the discount. So in short, we call it the cost of discount, but it is actually the interest rate that you are paying the supplier, or it is actually the interest rate that you are paying the supplier. So the interest rate that you are paying the supplier, it will be 28.22, which is very high, yeah. So this is the interest rate that the supplier is charging you, or because if you pay early, they can collect the money and use the money. So to wait an extra 40 days, if you pay on the last day, the supplier has to charge an interest. So the interest that is charged by the supplier is what we call cost of giving up the discount. That will be 28.22%. So in this case, the bank loan is lower, right? So if the interest rate charged by the supplier is higher than the bank loan interest rate, right? So this is higher than the 10% bank loan. So this is higher than the 10% bank loan interest rate. Then of course I will give up. I will take up the discount. I will take out the discount and I will pay early. And how much do I pay? I will only need to pay 97%. Yeah, because the discount is 3%. So I only need to pay 97%. Oh. Okay, so let's take a look at this question. So this belongs to 2506. So one question on take up the discount, one question on give up the discount. So for this question, what is the cost of giving up the discount? Right? What is the interest rate? So the interest rate charged by the supplier is 12% only. Yeah, but what is the bank loan interest rate? The bank loan interest rate is 15, you see. So it is better to borrow from the supplier than the bank. So therefore, we will give up the discount from the supplier because the supplier interest rate is lower than the bank loan interest rate. Right. So what we are going to do is we will pay 100% in how many days? In 50 days. So we will pay 100% within 50 days also. It doesn't state the how much do you buy, you see. So I can only tell you we pay 100% of we pay the full amount in 50 days. The previous question, is it? Can. Yeah, sorry, the answer is wrong. Okay, so I will go back to the previous question, 2514. So 2514, please take note, the answer, it should be 184,300 for question exam 2514. Also, please take note, it should be, it's correct, right? 320, yeah. Okay, so it should be 184,300. Sorry about it. Okay, so we will now move on to the next topic. Yes, thank you for informing me. We'll now move on to the next topic, lecture 11. So lecture 11, it is actually a theory topic. So I just want to inform you what to study. Did I test you on lecture 11? Oh, this round I didn't test on lecture 11, so we can go straight to lecture 12. Okay, so we will spend the remaining time on lecture 12, because there is one question on forward contract. There is also one question on options. Yeah, so we need to test you on both. Please pay attention. Before I move on, can you please take a screenshot of the theory question? No more theory questions. Yeah. And pay attention for the rest of the revision today, because lecture 12 is a little bit more difficult than the usual topics. Yeah. Okay, so all good, all good. Then I will not show this and I will not upload this in the canvas or anywhere. Yeah, so please take a screenshot now. And then we will move on to lecture 12. For lecture 12, what I need you to do is I will need you to look at my annotated PowerPoint slides. You must be looking at my annotated PowerPoint slides. And you need to follow my steps. If you do not want to follow my steps and you are not able to get the correct answer, I also do not know why. Yeah, so I need you to follow my steps, because if you follow my steps, magically or automatically you will get the correct answer. But if you choose to do it your own way, you may get it right sometimes, you may get it wrong sometimes, and I also do not know why. So my advice is follow my steps. Yeah, and that's the reason why I ask you to use my annotated slides. So please make sure you are looking at my annotated slides. I will go straight to the point. So lecture 12 is a different topic. Yeah, lecture 12, what we are looking at is international business, or rather international finance. So in international finance, we may need to sell uh, our goods to another country. Yeah. And in international finance, we may also need to buy goods from another country. So therefore, when we buy or sell in another currency, right, when we buy or sell in another currency, there will be foreign exchange risk. Yeah, because if we have to buy or sell in USD, right, and Sing dollar to USD may go up, it may come down. You see, so foreign exchange may go up, it may come down. So therefore, we will experience foreign exchange risk. So the foreign exchange risk that we are learning in this lecture is what we call transaction risk, where we need to receive or we need to pay in a foreign currency. So when we need to receive or we need to pay in a foreign currency, that will result in transaction risk. Okay. So how do we reduce this foreign exchange risk? How do we reduce this foreign exchange risk? Right? So it is through hedging. Yeah. So we can use hedging to reduce or to remove our foreign exchange rate risk. The first one will be forward contract, then followed by options. Both are tested. Yeah, both are tested. So the marks is quite high. So you have to get it correct. Otherwise, you will instantly lose about 15 marks. If you do not know how to do lah. And in the actual exam, many students do not know how to do this topic. Yeah. Okay, so what is a forward contract, right? So a forward contract is an agreement. And if you enter into a forward contract, you will be able to buy or sell a fixed currency at a fixed price on a fixed day. So everything is fixed in a forward contract. Forward contract, yeah. So when you see forward means it is a forward contract and everything is fixed. The foreign currency that you buy or sell is fixed at a fixed price on a fixed date. Oh. So this is one example here. I will actually use this example. I should have scanned this. So I will use this example here to be faster. Okay, so say we have a Singapore importer, right? So you buy goods from the US for US 40,000, right? And you bought it on 5th of January. So on 5th of January, the spot rate was to buy 1 USD, you need to pay 140 Sing dollar. So you are worried, you are worried that the USD becomes more expensive, because when the USD becomes more expensive, then you will need to pay more Sing dollar, right, to buy 1 USD. So you enter into a forward contract, you see, to fix the USD. Yeah, and that is to buy 1 USD, you will need 1.65 Sing dollar. So therefore, the shortcut to doing this question is, first question to ask yourself is, are you buying or are you selling foreign currency? So that's the first question that you need to answer to yourself. You answer this question to yourself. Yeah. So are you buying or are you selling foreign currency? Right. So you will follow this formula here. If you are importer, you will buy all the way. Yeah. If you are an importer, you will buy goods, you will also buy foreign currency. Right. So when you buy foreign currency, just imagine that the USD is a box of chocolate. So you will need to pay in Sing dollar to buy the USD. You see, so you need to use your Sing dollar to buy the USD. Okay, the first question that the exam question will ask you is, what is your cost of hedging? Cost of hedging is easy. Most students will get it correct. So cost of hedging, what you need to do is you compare your forward rate versus your original spot rate. So you compare these two exchange rate. And there is no exchange gain, there is no exchange loss. So cost of hedging is just simply what is the difference in these two exchange rate. So therefore, what you need to do is you just take the cost of hedging, you just take your forward rate less your original spot rate, or it could be your original spot rate less your forward rate. Actually, it doesn't matter, because your answer, just keep it to positive. Just keep your answer to positive. The difficult one is the next question. The next question, the exam question will ask you, what happens if you do not hedge? What happens if you do not hedge, right? So what is the gain or loss if you do not hedge? So what is the gain or loss if you do not hedge? That's what they will ask you in the exam question. So therefore, you have to look at what is the final exchange rate on the day that you pay or on the day that you receive money from your customer. So the final exchange rate is to buy 1 USD, I need 120 Sing dollar. So what you're going to do is you are going to compare these two exchange rate. Yeah. The forward rate, sorry, not the forward rate, the new rate and the old rate. Because the question is asking you what happens if there is no hedging. So what happens if there is no forward contract? So if there is no forward contract, then you compare these two rates. Yeah, the original spot rate and the new spot rate. But you have to use my working. Yeah, in an exam, I just need you to write these two sentences and you will get the answer correct magically. Yeah. So just write these two sentences. So I give you the sample. So the original spot rate is, to buy 1 USD, I need to pay 140 Sing dollar. Right. So to buy 1 USD, I need to pay 140 Sing dollar. Right. So imagine your USD is a box of chocolate. So using the original spot rate, to buy one box of chocolate, I need to pay 140 Sing dollar. But with the new spot rate, to buy the same box of chocolate, I only need to pay 120 Sing dollar. So for sure, it is a happy face. You draw the face. In an exam, no need to draw the face, but you can tell yourself, is it a happy face or sad face? If it is a happy face, for sure it is exchange gain. Then you tell me, if it is exchange gain, how much is it? Let me see if the question asks you. I will ask you very clearly, what is the exchange gain or loss? Then you need to tell me, oh, it is a gain 8,000. Okay, then you tell me no hedging. But you do not need to tell me no hedging because the question already asked you if there is no hedging. So you will just stop your answer here. But if it is exchange gain, actually you do not need hedging lah. Yeah. So if there's no hedging, to buy 1 USD, originally I need to pay 140 Sing dollar. But now I only need to pay 120 Sing dollar. So for sure it is a happy face. Happy face means exchange gain. That's it. You for sure will get the answer correct. Just give me these two sentences in the exam. Yeah. Some students are quite stubborn. They will use their own method. But if you get the exchange gain or loss wrong, that means there's no marks. Yeah. Now, if it is an exporter, right? What is the exchange gain or loss if there is no hedging? And we will use the same exchange rate. Now, if it is exporter, everything is opposite. Because if it is exporter, you are selling goods, you are selling the USD. Yeah, so if it is exporter, you are selling goods, you are selling the USD. So your direction of thinking is the opposite, you see. So everything is the opposite. So if you are an exporter, you are selling goods, you are also selling the USD. So therefore, you will be selling your USD, right? So when you sell 1 USD, imagine that you are selling 1 box of chocolate. So when you sell 1 box of chocolate, based on the old rate, you get back 140 Sing dollar. But now with the new rate, you only get 120 Sing dollar. Right, so for sure it is a sad face. Yeah, sad face means it is an exchange loss. The gain or loss is the same amount, but you must get the exchange gain or loss correct. Then you get the marks. Oh. Okay, so what else will they test you in the exam? You have to remember this, what do I call this? You have to remember this summary page. You have to remember this summary page. Oh. Because it's not given in the formula sheet, but they will ask you. So for example, if you are an importer, you will be buying goods, you are buying foreign currency. What are you worried about? USD will appreciate. Because if your USD appreciate means your box of chocolate becomes more expensive. So you need to pay more Sing dollar to buy 1 USD. Therefore, you will enter into a forward contract to buy USD. Because forward contract, you can buy USD, you can also sell USD. On the other hand, if you are an exporter, you are worried that the USD depreciate. So when you sell your USD, you get less Sing dollar, right? Because you are selling your USD. So you will enter into a forward contract to sell the USD. Oh, okay, so let's quickly practice question on forward contract. So your exam question will be like exam 2506. Oh. So what happens is there will be one part on forward contract and one part on options lah. Yeah, because we can only test you from topic 7 to 12. so we have to keep within this scope. So we have to test you more on these few topics. Okay, so if you are buying goods, right? You see, so if you are buying goods, you will be buying your foreign currency. So everything is buy, right? So if you are buying goods, you are buying USD, what are you worried about? you are worried that your USD becomes more expensive, right? So you are worried that the USD becomes more expensive. So you are worried that the USD appreciate. Yeah, so you are worried that the USD appreciate. So you need more Sing dollar to buy 1 USD. Okay, so let's quickly look at the few exchange rate. So the first one is we always look at the original spot rate. So the original spot rate is on 1st of January. It was to buy 1 USD, I need 130 Sing dollar. Then after that, to reduce the exchange rate risk, I enter into a forward contract. So this is my forward contract. So the cost of hedging, you can use 130 minus 132 or 132 minus 130. It doesn't matter. Keep the answer to positive. So you can follow the lecture slides. On the lecture slides, what we use is we will take the original rate. We will take the original rate less the, yeah, it really doesn't matter. You can take the spot rate less the forward rate or take the forward rate less the spot rate. So you can take this. So your answer is always positive. Yeah, keep your answer to positive. Okay, so this is the easy one. Now let's take a look at the difficult one now. The difficult one is the rate is here. So on 1st of February, to buy 1 USD, I need 1.29. So I am buying USD. So to buy 1 USD, I pay 1.29, right? So we are going to write down the two sentences from my example here. So you are buying goods, so you will follow the example here. Write these two sentences. Yeah, so what is the original spot rate? What is the new spot rate? Right, so we will do it together. Yeah, and immediately you are able to tell whether it is a happy face or whether it is a sad face. Yeah. So this was on 1st of January. So on 1st of January, what is the original spot rate? The original spot rate is, so you are buying, right? So you will buy. Yeah, you are buying your USD. So you write here buy. Yeah, so to buy 1 USD, how much do you need to pay? Right? So I need to pay. So to buy 1 USD, I need to pay 130 Sing dollar. Right, so that is the rate on 1st of January. Yeah, to buy 1 USD, I need to pay 130 Sing dollar. So imagine your USD is a box of chocolate. So therefore, what happens on the 1st of February? Right, so come the 1st of February. So what is the new spot rate? I am still buying the USD, it doesn't change. Yeah. So to buy the same one USD, now I need to pay 129. You see here? So from here to here, the student will know that it is a happy face. This one you get it correct. If you get it correct, then your exchange gain or loss, because usually the numbers, the student will get it correct. Right. So it is a happy face means it is exchange gain. So I pay less, you see? So I pay less to buy the same USD, right? So what is your exchange gain? Oh, so your exchange gain, it will be so it's the difference between 1.30, 1.29 times US 5,000. So any questions so far? You can take a screenshot and take this back with you to digest. But in the exam, you just need to give me these 2 sentences. You also do not need to explain to me. Yeah, you do not need to explain to me why it is exchange gain, because I can see for myself. Yeah. So what we are going to do is we are going to look at another question, which is on exporter. Yeah, same question, but on exporter. So it will be exam 2532. Okay, so if it is an exporter, exporter means you sell the USD. And when you sell USD, you want to get back Sing dollar. Yeah, you're not selling the USD for free. Oh, so the original rate is to sell 1 USD. When I sell 1 USD, I get back 130. Right? And then the forward rate will be I sell 1 USD, I get back 1.29. Oh, and then it was delivered on 1st of February. Okay. So are you worried about appreciation or depreciation? So if you are an exporter, then you will be worried with depreciation. Oh. because when you sell your 1 USD, you get back less Sing dollar. Yeah, so you are worried about depreciation. So you can see from the PowerPoint slides. Okay. So if you are an exporter, you are worried that you will get less Sing dollar back. So you are worried about USD depreciating. Yeah. Okay, what is the cost of the hedging? So cost of the hedging, it will always be a positive answer. So keep your answer to positive. Yeah, so usually, you see this one versus this one, right? But it will still be a positive. Oh. So keep your answer. It will always be a positive. Just keep your answer to positive. So it will be a thousand. Correct. Yeah, correct. Okay, so always keep it to positive. Okay, now we look at the more difficult one, and that is now you have a final rate. The final rate is when I sell 1 USD, I get back 1.32, which is more, which is more. So I sell 1 USD, I get 1.32. So we are going to write down the two sentences. I sell the same 1 USD, but I get more. So from here you can tell. So therefore it is happy fish. Ah, okay, so the exchange gain, it will be the two rates, 1.30 versus 1.32 times 10,000. So it will be 2,000. Okay, so this is the full answer. Please take a screenshot. This is also how you understand foreign exchange in real life. I mean, it's not a shortcut or anything, but this is also how you understand exchange rate in real life. Because when you travel, you will need to sell one currency and get back the other currency, you see. So this is how we understand foreign exchange in real life. So it always starts with, are you buying the currency or are you selling the currency? The same concept actually applies for options. And in fact, options, there's only one question that they will ask you. And that is, do you want to exercise the option or not exercise the option? So again, you have to go through the process of finding exchange gain or loss. So what is an option, right? So an option gives you the right. So you have the right, but it is not a must to say yes. But if you want to say yes, you will be able to buy or sell a foreign currency at a fixed price during a time period. So it is not fixed day, but during a time period. And usually when we buy an option, we will need to pay a premium. Oh, okay, so we will start with importer again. So you are buying goods, so you need to buy USD. So when you are buying goods, you need to buy USD. So I need to buy the foreign currency. So you are worried that your USD becomes more expensive. So you will purchase a call option. Yeah, you will purchase a call option. So there are two types of options. One is a call option, one is a put option. So call option will allow you to buy foreign currency. Call option is to buy foreign currency. Put option is to sell foreign currency. Option comes with an exercise price. Option comes with an exercise price. So you buy a call option and the exercise price is you will buy 1 USD at 140 Sing. Okay, so what will the question ask you, right? So the question will ask you, okay, so say come on the payment date and now the USD is weaker. So USD is weaker means actually you need less Sing dollar to buy 1 USD, right? So what is my exercise price? The exercise price of my option, it was to buy 1 USD. I need to pay 140 to buy 1 USD. But now the new spot rate is I only need 130 to buy 1 USD. So again, it's a happy face. So if it is a happy face, means it is an exchange gain. Exchange gain, then you will tell the marker you do not exercise the option. Or similarly, if it is an exchange loss, right? How do I know that it is an exchange loss? Because this is the exercise price. I need 140 to buy 1 USD. But come to the payment date, I need 160 to buy the same USD. So it will be exchange loss. Exchange loss, I will exercise the option. Or exchange gain, I will not exercise. Okay. Exporter is the same, just opposite, flip. So if I'm selling goods, I will sell my foreign currency to get back my Sing dollar. Right? So the original spot rate is to sell one, when I sell 1 USD, I get back 140 Sing dollar. So therefore, to reduce the foreign exchange risk, I buy a put option. A put option will give me the right to sell my USD. And I enter into a put option at the exercise price to sell 1 USD, I get 140 Sing dollar. Oh, okay. So what happens on the payment date? Right? So on the payment date, firstly, what is my exercise price? My exercise price is I sell 1 USD, I get back 140 Sing dollar. But say come to the payment rate, the new spot rate is I sell 1 USD, I get back 170 Sing dollar. So I get more Sing dollar for every 1 USD. So definitely this is exchange gain, happy face. So I do not exercise. So based on the exercise price, I sell 1 USD, I get back 140 Sing dollar. So let's say now it becomes I sell 1 USD, I only get 125 Sing dollar. Right, then of course I get less Sing dollar for every 1 USD I sell. Then it will be an exchange loss. Exchange loss, I will exercise the option. Okay, now what you need to remember is for options, you will always buy option. You will always have to buy option. It's whether a call option or a put option. So if it is a call option, it will give you the right to buy the foreign currency. If it is a put option, then you have the right to sell the foreign currency. Okay, so we will go back to our original question. We will start with an importer, but I think importer is easier to understand. Right, so when you import your goods, you buy goods, you will buy your USD. Oh, so this theory doesn't change. Yeah, you buy goods, you buy your USD, right? Okay. Now, and you buy 1 million USD worth of 1 million. You buy USD worth of 1 million. Okay. So when you buy goods, what are you worried about, right? So you will be worried that your USD appreciate. Also, buy goods is always you are worried that your USD will appreciate, and you buy 1 million worth of goods, right? So what is the current spot rate? The current spot rate is 140. Or the current spot rate is 140. Okay. So therefore, you went to, so if you buy goods, then you will buy a call option. Yeah. Oh. Okay, buy goods will be buy call option. Then you enter into the exercise price. So take note what is the exercise price. The exercise price is this. So many students get it wrong. This is the exercise price, and this is the new spot rate. Different. Okay. So you will do the same thing. You will do the same thing. So what is the exercise price? And now you are buying goods, right? So now you are buying goods. So you need to buy your USD. Okay. So my exercise price is to buy 1 USD. So I will keep to the same working. I need to pay, right? 141 Sing dollar. I mean, that's just an exchange rate, lah, right? Okay, what is the new spot rate? The new spot rate is I am still buying the USD. Or I am still buying the USD. I will need to pay more Sing dollar, right? More by how much? Yeah, 1.42. So from here to here, the student will know, right, that it is a set phase. Or so therefore, it is an exchange loss. Yeah. So it is the exchange loss. And how much is the exchange loss? So the exchange loss, it will be, the question didn't ask lah, but I will tell you the answer. Yeah. Because for my exam, I will ask you how much is the exchange gain, how much is the exchange loss. 10,000. So if it is exchange loss, you will exercise the option. Oh. So please take a photo of the answer. So any question, please ask, because you are the one also taking the exam. Yeah. Okay, all good, all good. I will move on to the next question. The next question will be exporter. Yeah, but so usually we will start with importer first because it is easier to understand. So this is 2506. Yeah. Okay, so this is exam 2506. This is exporter. So a few things about exporter. So exporter means you sell goods, you sell USD. Okay, so when you sell USD, you are worried that USD will drop, right? So you will enter into a put option. Okay, sorry. So you will sell the Australian dollar, right? Okay, so you will enter into a put option, and then what is the strike price and what is the new spot rate? Oh, there are two questions here, part 2 and part 3. So we can practice both. So the strike price doesn't change. Yeah, so the strike price remains at, I sell 1 Aussie, I sell, I get, right? So that's the exercise price. So I sell 1 Aussie, I get back Sing dollar is 1.02. Okay. And then the new spot rate is 104. I get back more. So from here to here, it will be a happy face. So 1,000 exchange gain, I will not exercise. Yeah, so that is the answer. Please take a picture. So this is for part 2. Okay, then we will move on to part 3. So part 2, it is not exercise. Okay. Part 3 is the same. So part 3 will be the same, but now you get back less. Oh, so you get back less. So from here to here, it will be a set face. Yeah, so it will be an exchange loss. How much is your exchange loss? It will be 1.02 versus 1.01 times A 50K. Right, so you give me the amount. Loss, you have to exercise. Oh, so if it's loss, you need to exercise the option. Okay, so just in time, everything we have covered. And I think for forward contract and options, we go through it quite in detail as well. Yeah, there's one example on buy, one example on sell. So make sure you have taken all the screenshots, especially for forward contract and options. For classmates in my class, we have not practiced these 2 exams, yeah, that I went through on forward contract and options. So I have completed all the revision. Actually, if you have been paying attention, you practice and study the theory questions, you should get at least, uh, I cannot guarantee anything, but if your number questions are all correct and you answer the theory question, then I think A and A plus is not a problem. Yeah, at least a B plus. Okay, so thank you for attending the revision session, and then I wish you all the best in your exam on Tuesday. See you around in school. Yeah, bye bye. Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye. All the best for your exam. So, anyone still need to take a screenshot of this? And no, oh, okay. Oh, okay. This will be the theory question. Okay, bye-bye, everyone. No problem. You're welcome. Bye-bye.